I think everyone is talking about agentic AI and kind of tripping over it, like,
yeah, seems like it's the new trend. Like if last year was the buzzword of AI in general, and now it's agentic is the new.
Exactly.
Like, are you data ready? Can you talk to your data? Can your
data talk to my data?
Yeah. Can you
know, how do we facilitate that?
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast here on a reunion with Sheila Marmon. She was my facilitator, moderator back at Digital LA,
Bestie.
Silicon Beach. I think going back too many years that I want to count. But she is the CEO and founder of Mirror Digital. Sheila, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So how you been? What's new?
I'm doing well.
I always see you out on the interwebs doing fun things, staying busy.
I try and stay busy. There's a lot of things going on to keep us busy. So I always say that I feel like every 6 months I'm in a new business.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what's the update with Mirror? I know you guys have always been big in digital representation, transformation, but what are you up to these days?
Sure, I'll tell you all about it.
All
So Mirror Digital was really a pioneer in helping large brands think about inclusive media in the digital space.
Yep.
So that's really the differentiator. Like we were digital first. We had a network of very cool in culture publishers. We moved into the creator space very early, into the podcast space. It was all about where are people in inclusive communities telling stories that matter to them, and how can we get brands involved in the right kind of way. So always wanting to make sure brands show up in ways that that help them, that respect the communities, that drive mutual benefit for everyone involved. So it's been a lot of fun over this last 14 plus years.
I bet. And what's the current iteration? Any major updates in what you're working on these days?
We continue to push the envelope on making sure we can get as much friction removed from the system and helping brands connect with inclusive creators.
Would you consider yourself a management or agency, or more of like a agency that helps, like a multicultural agency that helps brands, kind of navigate this ecosystem?
Yeah, no, so we are a media platform.
Got it.
So we sell into media agencies, mostly the big holdcos, and we're a media vendor for them.
Got it.
So our goal is to deliver impressions and views and clicks and all the other KPIs to large brands to help them reach and target inclusive audiences, however you want to define it, whether it's multicultural or women or LGBTQ or Gen Z. For us, inclusive means everyone, and we lean into our strong heritage in diverse audiences, underrepresented audiences, as a hook to bring everyone to the table.
Love it. And are you agnostic of like the publisher? Are you more thinking about the audience and kind of finding them everywhere and anywhere they might be? Or are you still doing a lot of direct placements with publishers or media companies that are the owners of IP or have those talent representation rosters? Are you going direct or kind of finding those audiences in and around the internet based on programmatic type of audience modeling? Or?
Yeah, so great question. It's yes and I think the foundation is starting with the direct relationships and the IP and the stories, because it's about the community connection. So our publishers and our creators, what they really deliver for brand partners is that connection to the community, that love, that fluency, that ability to navigate in a way that's seamless and brings the brand along with them. So that's the foundation. We can certainly add audience-driven tactics to a strategy, but those audiences are built from knowing the direct connections and knowing that the publishers have a direct relationship to the community. So we collect the data, we collect the first-party data from our publishers. We have very sophisticated paid social tactics that we utilize to help target specific audiences within the walled gardens. But always at the core, I start with the stories and the storytellers.
Let's go. I love it. So tell me about your agenda at Possible this week. How have things been? What's still on the calendar? What have you been up to?
I mean, Possible, can we just like soak in the sun? It's been really great seeing everyone. And you know, the thing about Possible that's great is that it's very compact. So
yeah, it's not like you're running around
yeah, you're
a
not
huge
running around
city
miles and miles and miles.
getting cabs in Vegas.
You're gonna go through the lobby and you're gonna see 50 people.
I actually enjoy being trapped in this press room all day. It's kind of fun.
Well, I'm glad someone brought you a Cuban sandwich, so you didn't pass out.
That was very nice.
Your little taste of Miami,
Exactly,
the Cuban sandwich.
Exactly. Well, I gotta hang out, go for a run on the beach on Sunday, and go to some
nice.
parties and stuff.
That's
but
awesome.
When the event kicks off, that's when I get down to business. So.
Well, you know, one thing I will say about Possible that I really appreciate is it's bringing the entire ecosystem together. You know, some people have said, oh, it's a little ad techy, but you know, I like the ad tech crew.
Yeah.
I'm
ad
part
techs
of that.
pay the bills,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, well, I'm also part of that community.
Yeah,
totally. You know, we really leverage technology to help our publishers grow and build their community. So we've built a proprietary platform so that we're removing the friction for our publishers, which is primarily in the technology space. So everything from, you know, name a new thing that an ad agency wants. You know, is the viewability right? Or are the ads loading in 1 second? Do we have the right?
All the technical specs that make the delivery easy to track, frictionless for consumers,
exactly,
frictionless for brands and agencies to measure.
That's what we've taken on. So if we take all of that off their plate,
that's table
which
stakes.
is a headache, and which has been a barrier for a lot of boutique and bespoke publishers because they don't have the know-how, they don't have the capital. So if we can be a partner and facilitate that, then that allows them to do what they do best.
I love that. Anything happening so far at Possible which has been must-see TV for you as far as events or thought leadership? And is there anything you've seen that's exciting that you're taking back to the teams?
So my team is here, which is great.
Nice. Everybody?
Because, not everybody, but we've got, tentacles here and there.
Let's go.
But the thing that I think everyone is talking about agentic AI and kind of tripping over it,
seems like it's the new trend. Like if last year was the buzzword of AI in general, and now it's agentic is the new.
Exactly.
Like, are you data ready? Can you talk to your data? Can your
data talk to my data?
Yeah.
How do we facilitate that?
Yeah.
We were at another conference earlier this year, and all about kind of setting the standards. David Cohen was talking about the standards are not clear, and everyone is just it's the wild, wild west. So how do we make sure we have a system where we can all operate together and build together? And I just think that's so smart. It's almost like the internet before there were IAB ad standards, where people just had ads whatever size they felt like, and they liked the design.
Feel like another hot take out of IAB this year has been really ragging on the AI companies for stealing from publishers' IP. At the end of the day, you see like massive investments in real estate, massive investments in compute, massive investments in chips, massive investments in even, nuclear power to power these data centers. But then the one thing that makes them all work, which is content, is the thing that they're willing to steal and
now,
not
did you
compensate.
read my notes? I mean, you sound like me right now because the publishers are the freaking foundation.
Yeah,
so,
well, it's, without content, none of this stuff works.
That's exactly right.
And the other thing that I think is a danger is that if AI is being trained on an original set of content, and then it's creating new content based on that, and then there's not money being given to publishers or creatives to create new content made by humans, it's going to be AI-driven content. Then these models are going to be, it's going to be like a
self-fulfilling prophecy,
by the time like you go,
themselves,
or it'll be unintelligible because it's bots talking to bots, and humans won't be able to understand what they're saying.
Right, like that social network where the bots were talking to each other. They didn't want humans around. So one thing I do want to say about the importance of having fresh content and also inclusive content, I'm going to come back to that word because this is something that our industry has struggled with. If you look across the spectrum, we are not the most inclusive industry. And so I think being really intentional about making sure you have representation from different communities, different voices, different perspectives, so that we are training the models in a fulsome way. And there's been a lot of conversation about this, but I think a lot of it is
like
talk,
Will
not
AI.
action.
His sounds pretty, authentic, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Have you been to his studio in LA?
No, I haven't. A fraternity brother of mine used to run operations for him, and I see him pop up. He's still very, clued into technology and an early adopter with stuff, and
it's super dope. It's super dope because I know you're an LA guy. You know
SoCal,
all about
for sure.
all these people. So his studio is great. You definitely should get yourself.
I gotta check that out.
You got to get him on your podcast.
That would be amazing. It's one foot at a time. I got Beyonce's dad on recently. That was pretty cool. That was a good get.
Was he talking about advertising?
No, we talked about raising kids in the entertainment industry because I have, a daughter with 50,000 followers on Instagram, and my daughters star in YouTube videos and ad campaigns, and they're actresses. And I was interested in his perspective of how do you raise children in the entertainment industry so they become Beyonce and not, go down the road of the Jackson family or something like that, where it's very rigid and how do you do it the right way, basically, was the conversation that I wanted to have, and he was very helpful.
That's awesome. Well, no one knows what goes on behind anyone's closed doors at home, so, we just hope for the best for you and your daughters, and I'm sure they're going to be amazing.
Let's go. Well, Sheila, great to reconnect after all these years.
With you.
If folks at home want to follow along with your thinking, get in touch, where do you want to send folks?
Yeah, why don't you guys check us out at mirrordigital.com. We are really continuing to push the wave of innovation to help brands connect with communities of all sorts on digital platforms. So we would love to help you think about how to work with us.
Let's go. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time.